Cortisol proves to be very beneficial in learning and also adaptation. However, in excess, it can decrease your testosterone because both cortisol and testosterone compete for cholesterol. And if there's not enough to go around, your testosterone will plummet and you will not be able to think as clearly for an extended period of time. You will experience more fatigue. You will be smaller. You're going to end up making the wrong choices in your life because your body is in a more sympathetic fight or flight state, and you won't be able to be as creative to solve all of your problems in life. So in this video, you're going to learn 4 ways to decrease your cortisol so you can make the better decisions and stop being at the place stuck in life. Number 1, breath work. This is entirely important, and I recommend this to everybody because it can decrease your cortisol by 30%, sometimes less, sometimes more, depending on how well you do it. My favorite method is the physiological sigh. When I talk about the 30% decrease in cortisol and stress response, I talk about the physiological sigh. It's basically, I do this like every time when I'm about to record a video, like a like a robot every single time, I swear. And the reason I do this is because it's a pacifying gesture. You do this when you're crying. You can imagine a time where it was that one night down in the dumps, you're friggin' outside of a gas station and you're like sitting and you're friggin'. The other method is box breathing. A lot of corporate places actually teach this to their workers because box breathing decreases cortisol and the stress response. Essentially, you breathe for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and then you hold for 4 seconds. I'm not going to demonstrate because it takes way too long. You can be a chill guy if you apply breath work. Now, this is your stress tank, and now you've got a couple holes in your stress tank, plus 3, and now the stress it's gone. It's dissipating. Now, this is like a bonus, by the way. I used to actually do this thing where I don't even know. I would just like try to breathe in all the stress and bad in the world, and then I just kind of breathe it out, and like as if I was like throwing it into the ocean of my love. I used to apply very like funny methods that were very spiritual, which is not necessarily wrong. They just sound kind of funny when you say them out loud. So the other method is brain dumping. Sometimes you have way too much information in your brain and you just can't comprehend it because your prefrontal cortex is not developed. That was a joke. I don't mean to be mean, but sometimes you actually do have like a lot of things going on in your head. So the way you can deal with this is you can just journal as if no one's gonna read it. Just friggin' thought vomit all over the place on that page. Physical methods. You can get a massage. You can get a massage gun, and that also helps with the physical stress of things because that can also increase your cortisol if you were training too much. Now, this is not usually a problem for people. Typically, people do not overtrain. You need to do a lot to overtrain, and if you have optimizing your testosterone like we show on my channel, then you won't really have a problem with overtraining. I'm telling you, like I was training twice a day, Muay Thai and weightlifting, and yeah, the only time I actually ended up experiencing overtraining for me was when I was doing it 3 times a day. But you don't need to do that very often. Meditation. Meditation is kind of similar to breath work, except there's the standard way, which is focusing on the breath. It's just focusing on your nose, your breathing, and you just focus until you realize you've stopped focusing, and then you go back to focusing. This helps because it can cause you to have a less perceived stress response, just like these do. They cause you to have a less perceived stress response because you have it separate from your mind. If you are the observer, then you observe your situation and you are not your situation, if that makes sense. What helps if you have a lot of time, because this can take a lot of time, is if you make the time, you just lay down or sit down and you just let yourself feel the emotion of the thing that's actually been bothering you and staying in your mind. Now, this might sound like it takes a lot of time because it can take 30, 20, whatever, an hour, like 30 minutes, whatever, an hour. But the thing is, the amount of time that you're wasting thinking about it, trying to suppress the emotion that is held inside, that is influencing your decision making, your brain clarity, all that stuff can be avoided if you just let yourself feel it, because you're just not letting yourself feel it and your brain needs to process it. If you do not process it, you will be stuck in this state of mind indefinitely, pretty much, unless your brain processes it. So you just lay down on your bed or you sit down. You let yourself feel it until you reach a point of neutrality. When you reach a point where you feel neutral with the situation because you've just felt it enough, it's just like it's called like sensory adaptation. If you end up feeling something enough, then it ends up like, imagine someone's like freaking poking you for so long and you won't feel it eventually because it just doesn't matter. It's like if right now I told you to remember all of the sounds in the background, like I have my window open, you wouldn't even notice it now because you've gotten adapted to hearing the noises. So once you reach a state of neutrality, try to find the golden nugget of your situation. This way you can come out and you can realize, okay, there's something I can actually learn from this, and my brain doesn't need to process it anymore. And that way you can actually move on. The other thing is NSDR. NSDR is non-sleep deep rest. It can help you reset your nervous system. I'll put a link in the description because I'm such a nice guy, and these things will help you increase your testosterone by lowering your cortisol. Balls full. This is what I'm saying. And yeah, your stress tank's just exploded now. The whole thing is gone. No more stress. Just go bye-bye. If you want to join my community and optimize your human potential and your hormones, first link in description. You already know. Leave a like on the video. See you, bro.